that all right? What do you think? Can you see it? You gonna be able to see it on camera? Yeah? Okay. Hey everybody, it's Dave and Olive. Thanks for joining us here at Book Blather, where we try to have a little fun while we talk about the books we've read recently to help spread the joy of reading. So it's been almost 2 weeks since we posted a video, which is a little unusual for us these days, but we are reorganizing our books in what we call the library, what the rest of our family just calls the office. And we had a little bit, we were a little crazy at first, and then when in the process of that reorganization, we had a bit of a snafu, and so like the room was out of commission for days, and we couldn't film in here. So fortunately, no books were harmed in the process, but we weren't able to use this room for a little bit. So everything's fine now. So we're back on schedule. Today we're doing something. This is a special video. Today we're doing a special tag. And now, if you watch this channel, you know we don't do tags. When we started off, Olive and I were just going to do monthly wrap-ups, and that's all we did for a while. It was one video a month. We just wrapped up the books that we read for that month. And of course, our channel's evolved, and so we do a lot of other things now, right, Olive? And but one thing we've always steered clear of is tags, and we didn't do any for the longest time, and now we've done 2. And generally, if we're going to do a tag, it needs to be a really special tag, which is what the other 2 that we did were. So this is just the 3rd one we've ever done, but this one's also special because while we were on this like temporary hiatus here, we passed 500 subscribers, and that is pretty exciting for us. I think it's not a lot for a lot of people, but it is a lot for us. We are really kind of surprised that we hit that. When we started out the channel, like we were excited when we hit 8. Yes, I have like 4 other family members that live in the house, and so that's 4 right there. And so we hit 8. It was like, whoa, double. So we're pretty amazed that like at least over 500 people like think our ridiculous videos are worth watching, and we really appreciate everybody that watches our videos. We know everybody's time is valuable, everybody's busy, and we really appreciate every one of you that actually takes the time out of your day to watch our ridiculous stuff. So we're going to keep making videos and hope that those of you enjoy them, keep enjoying our little odd brand of BookTube. So when we hit 500, I had a BookTube friend that was like, "Oh, you hit 500? That's great! Now that like the community tabs opens up for you, and and I was like, what? I like it does it? I didn't know. So I don't know what the protocol was. So like I'm asking this friend like, so I mean, am I like supposed to do like one of those like Q&A things now and ask people for questions? I've seen people do stuff like what do you do at 500? So I wasn't really sure. And then fortunately, Fred over at Read by Fred tagged us in the Get to Know Me in 25 Questions tag. So we thought this is perfect. So we can basically do a Q&A doing this tag. So if you don't watch Fred's, if you're not familiar with Fred, we're going to link his channel below. He has a great channel. I really like watching Fred's channel. He's he's into science fiction, but also ancient history, nonfiction. So he's one of those booktubers that's kind of has his genres, but is pretty well read. Great demeanor, is always entertaining. Always does his bloopers at the end. So he's just one of those guys like that. The videos are just really enjoyable to watch. Like as soon as I see one of his videos pop up, if at all I can, right then I go watch it because it's I really enjoy watching his stuff. So you should definitely go check him out if you're not already watching Fred. But he tagged us in this, so we decided this was perfect. It's kind of like the 500 subscriber special, if that's what you want to call it. Because, I think we probably haven't talked too much about our personal lives so far Have we, Olive? Have we talked about? Hey, I mean, we probably talked about the fact that Olive loves these little treats, right? Yeah. That's the only thing that keeps her awake when we film late at night. That's why sometimes we try to do it in the morning. But so we're gonna do this tag. So we'll get into it. I printed out. I don't know who originally did this tag. So I'll see if I can find it out and link it below. But otherwise, if we can't find it, I'm sorry, whoever's this originally did this one. But we will link Fred's below, and then we're supposed to tag some people. So. Okay, so number one is, what's your channel about? Obviously, we're a BookTube channel, so we do, if you're not already, if you don't already watch us, we emphasize science fiction, fantasy, and horror, but we like to read other things, like we read some YA and graphic novels, but we like to try to be pretty well read. So we like to watch other channels like Fred and some other people that do different areas, and we try to get recommendations and read in all different areas. So we do all types of other fiction and nonfiction as well, and so that's what we try to do on the channel, is kind of try to show all that stuff. Okay, so how old are you? 49. Not happy about it, but that's what it is. Olive is 2. Or she's 2.5. I guess that half is important in dog years. But okay, what is your relationship status? Olive is single. I've been happily married for 22 years. I've had 2 great successes in this marriage. The first was somehow convincing my wife to jump on this crazy train, and the other was managing to get through 20 years and persuading her to never jump off. So I couldn't be happier about those successes. Did you go to college? Occupation. So, yes, I did go to college. I'm originally from New Jersey, and so I went to college at Rutgers University, which is a major New Jersey school. My degrees were in physics and philosophy. And after undergrad, I went to law school. And so after law school, I became a patent attorney. Right? I do intellectual property. It's patents and trademarks, but mostly patents, right? It's about inventions. And I get patents, I write patents, I get patents, and I litigate patents in court when need be. And so, the physics degree gave me the science, the philosophy gave me the writing, and so it was kind of a perfect match for me. Okay, where are you from and live? As I said, I'm from New Jersey originally, but now we live in Connecticut, in southeastern Connecticut. We live on the coast, about a little over an hour from New York City. Okay, 6. Looking back, what would you have told your 10-year-old self? I would have told my 10-year-old self to not spend any time being angry. Do not hold on to grudges. Do not maintain anger towards other people. Because what I learned, took me a long time in life to learn that the only person that you ever hurt by doing that is yourself. And I wish I had known that when I was younger, when I was when I had a temper and I would get angry about a lot of things, and before I embarked on on a journey of self-reflection. I wish we could all learn that when we were a little younger. That usually the people we hold grudges towards and the people that we're mad at, they never realize it, and they're never affected by it. The only ones that it makes miserable is us. So that's what I would have told myself when I was younger, I think. Tell us about your family. I have the perfect family. As I said, I've been married for 22 years, and I have 3 daughters. Twins that just graduated college. As I said, I'm 49. And another one in high school. And Olive has an older sister, Riley. Olive, as you know, is a Maltipoo. She has an older sister, Riley, that's a cockapoo. That occasionally makes an appearance, but she doesn't have the patience for this sort of thing, so she's not here tonight. Okay, so let's see. What is your favorite holiday? Christmas. No question. Love Christmas. Particularly Christmas Eve, but Christmas Eve and Christmas. Make a multi-day affair of it. 2 Christmas trees. My wife gets aggravated and calls our front yard. She calls it the barnyard because I fill it up with all these lighted, animal figures and everything. Our yard is filled with lighted stuff at Christmas time. So, absolutely love Christmas. Let's see. What is your? I printed this. So I printed it out from Fred's thing, and it's like so small I can't even read it now because I got 49-year-old eyes. All right, you have no budget. What is your dream vacation? This has not changed for many, many years. My dream vacation is Italy because there is so much that I want to do in Italy. My number one dream destination city is Venice. I just have always wanted to visit there. But on top of that, there are so many things that I want to go visit in Italy. I would love to see Vatican City. And as I mentioned before, I'm not religious, but I really like religious things. I love churches and stuff like that. I would so love to go see Vatican City one day. Of course, I would love to see Rome, love to see Florence. I mean, there's like no cities in Italy that aren't really interesting. And of course, I'd love to go to Tuscany and love to, spend some time roaming around wine country, because I do love wine. So that would be my dream vacation with no budget. I would go spend months in Italy. Okay. Let's see. Name your biggest pet peeves. So this might seem like a weird one, but I guess we all have that one thing that really bugs us more than anything else. And my biggest thing is I'm a fast driver, and I learned young, stay right except when passing. So people that drive really slow in the left passing lane really, really frustrate me. And as stupid as a thing as this is, there are a few times I get as angry as those people that go 40 miles an hour in the left-hand lane and clog up traffic and make it take twice as long for me to get where I need to go. I don't know why that one bothers me so much, but it really does. What book changed your life? And so, this is one of those ones I had to think about it for like 5 minutes, and then once I realized it, then it was like, oh, of course, unquestioned. There's no question about what this was. This is one of the basic texts in intro philosophy class in college, and this was I believe the version that I had was what was it called? Methods of Discourse and Meditations on First Philosophy, and I think that was what it was called, the edition I had, but it was a long time ago. And of course, I have all my old philosophy books from college, and in college we have all these old all these cheap versions by Hackett Publishing, and I have like every one of those except for this one. I don't know. I must have taken it out at some point to reread it, and I don't know where I left it. But this was... So when I went to college, I originally thought that I went to college starting to be a double major in math and physics. And I took Intro to Philosophy because, Rutgers, we had these different... We called them ADRs. They were... I don't even know what that stood for, but you had to take a class in different areas, different humanities and things like that, just to be well-rounded. Thank God, because I took Intro to Philosophy for that reason. And that class absolutely changed my life. And the first book that we read in that class was A Method on Discourse by René Descartes. If you don't know, René Descartes was a French philosopher in the 17th century. And if you ever, you've never heard, I think, therefore I am, but you didn't know where it came from, that came from René Descartes in that book, or in that writing that he wrote. And so that was the first book that I read, and that was first in that class for a reason, because it sort of gives you an introduction into philosophy, and it was so eye-opening for me. René Descartes was a lot of people call him the father of modern philosophy, and in particular rationalism, which is basically the idea that knowledge comes from not what your senses tell you, which obviously many times deceive you, and it's not what your senses tell you, and it's not what you feel. It's about what you can that you need to intellectually think about things and make logical deductions from that. Just sort of rational analysis of things, and that's where true knowledge and real truth comes from. And Rene Descartes in these writings, not that I live by Rene Descartes, and a lot of things that are flawed in those writings that were so early in modern philosophical times, but he did just sort of introduce neophytes like me into the basic concept of just kind of deconstructing what you know and what you think you know, and think about how do you really know these things and why do you believe these things, and really just bring it down to really basics. And that's where that I think therefore I am come from, because that's one of the most basic things. You may not know that you're sitting here. You could be in a vat, like in the Matrix, with living some hallucination, but you at least know you exist. And that's where the phrase "I think therefore I am" comes from, because that's something that you can know for sure. So anyway, that was a little bit of I got sidetracked there, but that book kind of just introduced me into introduced me to philosophy and a way of just living life in terms of exercising critical thinking, and that just absolutely changed my life. And that book, probably more than anything else, has had an impact. Really just set me on a different course and changed my life. Okay, what simple invention improved the world? It's hard not to say the wheel. That's as basic and as important as it gets, I think. But if we're going to talk in modern times, I guess I would say the semiconductor, because right, everything we do today is relies on that, and wouldn't be filming this video right here without semiconductors. So that would be the answer. Okay, so favorite movies, TV shows. So one of the other tags we did was that it was the astounding science fiction tag, and we mentioned there that our favorite science fiction movie of all time was Contact, and that's one of our favorite movies of all time. But some other ones, which are actually not like in our normal genres of movies and books, is probably a favorite movie of all time is actually Braveheart. If you haven't seen that, you need to go watch it. That is an incredible movie for so many reasons. Another one, a really weird one, and I feel kind of unmacho for saying this, is a movie that I just always loved and watched numerous times just because it was such a great epic family saga, was Legends of the Fall with Brad Pitt. I just thought that was such a great movie, and it was always one of my favorites for it's been one of my favorites for I guess a couple decades now. Okay, and in TV shows, in the science fiction I mentioned, like Battlestar Galactica was one of our favorite, but Star Trek, we love so many Star Trek shows, some of the older ones, and we love all these new Star Trek shows that are on Paramount Plus, and so Olive and I watched a number of these, so those are some of our favorites. Okay, let's see. Describe yourself using... Oh man, I really have old man eyes. Describe yourself using 3 fictional characters. Okay, so I did think about this before because I read through them, and I thought that was a tough one. And so what I came up with was the first one is Phil Dunphy from Modern Family, because that's the kind of dad I am, right? I have this whole family. I'm kind of goofy. Nobody laughs at I make a lot of dumb jokes, and pretty much nobody laughs at them except me, and so that's I think that pretty well describes the kind of dad that I am. Next one is Data from Star Trek, because I try to be very, very logical most of the time, and that's what he was all about. So. And then the last one is Michael from The Office, because he's very goofy and awkward and is always making jokes that, like I said, the only one that laughs at the jokes are him. And this is what my family tells me all the time. I'm always telling jokes, and Everybody else at the table is like laughing, but they're just laughing at me, laughing at myself. They're not laughing at the joke. Nobody thinks it's funny. So those would be the 3 fictional characters. What was your dream job? So, alternate dream job, of course, would be Starship Captain, like Jean-Luc Picard. But if we're talking about realistic dream jobs in today's world, when I was younger, I always wanted to be 2 things. I always wanted to be an astronomer, and I wanted to be a writer. And I still love to be both of those things today. It's a little late for me to be an astronomer because I'm not going to go back to school to do all that. But still have dreams of being a writer one day. See if make that happen. Always plan to make it happen. So we'll see. If magic was real, what spell would you learn first? Invisibility. Because I'm one of the nosiest people that you would ever meet, so I would just constantly be casting the invisibility, making myself invisible, and just spying on people and seeing what people are doing and seeing what they're saying and everything. Okay, what is your... Wait, no. Yeah, share a favorite childhood memory. So, one of the earliest memories that I have that was just always brings a smile to my face, it was important to me, was... It sounds very simple, but it was when I was about 7 years old, and it was the morning that I woke up before my mom. My dad was at work, and I woke up before my mom. It was very early, and for the first time, I got myself ready, and I got all dressed, ate something. I put on my little cardigan sweater, and I remember taking care of a caterpillar on the kitchen floor by myself that I found, and I went out, and I went down to, my best friend was like catty corner from us, the backyards, and I went over to my friend's house and started to play. And of course I got in trouble for that later when my mother woke up and didn't know where I was, and she freaked out. And but I remember that very fondly because that was like my first exercise of independence as a little kid. I just took care of myself that morning, and it was as simple as it was a big day for me. So I always remember that one. Even though I got in serious trouble. What is your favorite social media platform and why? YouTube. I mean, pretty much all that I watch. I mean, I spend some time on Instagram, but pretty much all that I watch on YouTube, because I watch more than anything. Watch BookTube, of course. If I want other kinds of entertainment, I watch a couple channels for like shorts. Like I watch Dust, which has a lot of science fiction shorts. I watch Alter, which has a lot of horror shorts. I watch Amaletto, which has a lot of like high quality, just general shorts, but they tend to be like kind of like on the weird side, odd things or philosophical things, And then like if I'm trying to fall asleep at night, I watch ASMR videos sometimes. Help me fall asleep at night. And sometimes if I'm cooking and I want to listen to something that I don't have to pay too close attention, like what I do with BookTube. A lot of times I'll listen to BookTube, but a lot of times I'll listen to some science fiction shows like Isaac Arthur or Event Horizon. Some of these guys that are discussing different, not science fiction, science topics, or futurism topics or things like that. So spend a lot of time on YouTube, way too much probably. If you could pick any book character, who would you spend the day with? I thought about this and now I forgot who I picked. I would pick Tyler Durden from Fight Club. Fight Club was a book by Chuck Palahniuk, and I can't really say, I hate it when people say this, but I can't really say too much about that story. It's about a guy that ends up kind of revisiting his life, and then he makes this friend, Tyler Durden, who teaches him how to just like live free and loose, and he meets a girl, and Tyler Durden's a little crazy, and I can't say more than that. But if you haven't read that, that's a phenomenal story. The movie was Ed Norton and Brad Pitt, and I would really like to spend the day with Tyler Durden to kind of probe into what was going on in his mind and what was happening. And I can't say any more than that, but go watch the movie or read the book, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, what's your spirit animal? Dog? What old person thing do you do? I constantly forgetting everything. My memory has gotten absolutely horrible. My family gives me a really hard time about it. It's frustrating because every time, like, I remember a conversation differently, it's because I don't remember because my memory is so bad, which it is. But I don't forget everything, but I forget a lot of things. Okay, what? No, do you have a hidden talent? I thought of hidden talent and I forget what it is. What did we say for the hidden talent? What were we thinking for the hidden talent? Do you remember? I don't remember. We're gonna have to pass on that one. If I think of, remember it, will come back. Okay, so where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, that's a good question. Probably, like I said, I get kind of old, so I don't have any like kind of like incredible life goals coming up. But probably still be doing what I'm doing. But I do always hopeful that maybe I'll actually have become a successful writer by then. So I've actually started to actually buckle down a little bit and start doing a little bit, and so hopefully that's where I'll be in 5 years. Share an item and tell us its significance. Okay, so I pulled. Okay, so this is very appropriate for a BookTube channel. When I was little, I hated reading. Hated it. And they made us read stuff in school, and I wouldn't do it. I really hated it. And then I got to 8th grade, and they made us go read a book, but we got to go pick it at the bookstore. And this was, kind of early in fantasy time. I picked this one, Dragons of Autumn Twilight. This was by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, and this was published in 1984. And as you can see, I have had this book. You can see what kind of shape it's in. I've had it a very long time, and I never reread books, but I've reread this one numerous times, and I've read part of it, a bunch of other times. I've read parts of it more times, and which is why it's in the shape that it's in. Obviously, I've had it for, oh God, what is that? So 3 decades now, right? Is that right? Oh my God, is that right? 3.5 decades. So that's why it looks like this. But this was the book that made me finally want to read. And I tried to reread this again recently. I read about half of it, and it doesn't hold up very well. It's not a high quality fantasy novel, but I so loved it in 8th grade, and numerous times after that. And this is what really made me understand what fiction could be and what joy reading could bring you. And so I still have this today. I'll never get it. We have a newer copy that I bought for one of my daughters to get her to read it, but of course I'll never get rid of this. This is a treasured copy of this book that was another one of those things that just kind of changed. Was a turning point for me in terms of what I enjoy in life. Okay, and so I guess that is it. Man, I really wish I could remember what the special talent was. But well, anyway. So okay, so now tag some people. So Fred tagged 4 people, I think. So I guess that's what I'll do. I'm going to tag 4 people. So the first one I'm going to tag, and these are people I think haven't done it yet, but I don't. So the first one is MJ at Reading This Life, and she reviews all sorts of books. So she's pretty widely read, and MJ is great. MJ is shouts out tons of other booktubers. She does it on schedule every week, always talking about others. She's got a discourse, and she does really try hard. She's still a relatively young booktuber, but really tries so hard to support everybody else. And so I would like to see. I know a little bit about MJ at this point, but I would like to see her answers to this tag. Another one is, so I'm going to do all small booktubers for this to try to get, so that those people can say a little bit, that aren't that well known, can say a little bit about themselves. So the next one is Storytime with Sid. She's really into sci-fi and fantasy, and she's very sweet, very new booktuber. She's not a real pleasure to watch. She's just happy and sweet, and so you should link all of these below. You should definitely go check out her. I would like to tag Pax Panic. I don't think Pax has done this tag, and I know some about Pax, but maybe we can find out a little more about her. Pax has a horror channel. She's very into horror, and she is one of the booktubers that is most excited about being a booktuber that you will ever come across. So she is a real pleasure to watch. Always fun to watch her videos. And the last one was Bookends and Biscuits. She is mostly sci-fi. Does a little bit of other stuff, some mystery, but she's very sweet. She's in the UK, and don't know much about her, so it would be nice to learn a little bit more. So that's it. Want to thank Fred again for tagging us in this, and again want to thank all the viewers. We really were surprised that we passed 500, and really surprised that so many people want to watch our stuff. But we do appreciate it. We appreciate everybody's time. Really appreciate every one of you that takes the time to watch our videos. And we'll. So now we were out of commission for 2 weeks, so we got actually a bunch of things that we got to do one right after the other. We got some book reviews to do. Another tag, we got to do MJ's tag. That was a special one too, and we had our reorganization. So we're going to be busy with videos coming up in the next 2 weeks here. But anyway, I dragged on for long enough. So thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so that you get notified the next time Olive says it's okay to upload another video. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next time.